This video is a message from Pleasant Hill Baptist Church in Campbellsville, Kentucky. We hope you will be blessed by it.
Not good to be alone. He doesn't say you have to have somebody. While the animals and other creatures have been created in pairs, the Lord allows Adam to come to that self-realization that he needed fellowship, friendship, and intimacy with someone corresponding to himself. Thus God made him a helper. And that does not mean that a woman is inferior to men, so that they are designed merely to be assistants to the man. The word helper may more accurately mean a strength or a power, and thus women are comparable to men. Often God himself is designated by the term helper or strength. God therefore made woman from the man as his equal and as his match. As a partner in life, she was taken from one of the man's ribs, probably to show an interdependence. She was dependent on the man, and men are dependent upon the women to give birth to them. In Luke 15, Jesus told the story of a woman who had lost everything precious in her home. She had 10 silver coins and lost one. Jesus explained that such a woman would light a lamp and then sweep the house and search carefully until she found it. When she found it, she would call her friends and they would rejoice. That is a parable of many homes today, all across our land, even within this church. This is the picture we see. Couples who have lost something precious in their home and who need desperately to find it. No greater need faces us today than to regain the priceless treasure of stability in the home. For there is nothing more important in this world than the home. Before there was a nation, there were homes. Before there was even a church, there were homes. Before there was ever a school, there were homes. I am convinced that in our day, the most critical need facing us is to do as this woman did in Jesus' parable. To realize that we have lost something precious in our home. To diligently search for it until we find it again. And then, having found it, to rejoice. Let me suggest some of the basic principles of a happy home that we need to rediscover. And I say this again, that even though we've been married 31 years, we've had some tough times. I mean, what did I say? Double that. I'm thinking about my age. 61. See, I told you you helped me out a lot. All right. But this sermon is for James Jones, nobody else. For even though we've been married that many years, we still have some tough times. We still have to sit up late at night at times and figure out how we're going to get through this. So I want you to know that. I'm not trying to aim at anybody else but this old boy standing right here. First of all, the scripture teaches that one of the basic principles is adaptability. That is, to have a home, we must be able to adjust to the changing circumstances in our home. Where do we develop our image of what marriage is all about? First of all, from the home we grew up in. I didn't have a good home life that my parents became Christians. And after they became Christians, things changed. But I did not see that my daddy was that affectionate to my mother. They never showed their affection to each other. Our parents are the first models of husbands and wives that we are exposed to. Good or bad, we learn from them. We develop a concept of what a husband is to do by our fathers and what a wife is supposed to do from the mothers. First people that we look at, we're married, and that's where we get our image, how we're to act as a husband or as a mother or a wife. Second, what we see and read from the outside. Every book we read, every magazine article, every movie we watch, every television show, every family we observe feeds information to our computer concerning the role of a wife and a husband. Then three, what our married friends tell us. As we approach the marrying age, many of our friends precede us into that relationship. The problem is that no two people ever have the same exact concept. Many of the differences are worked out during the courtship period. However, we bring some of the different expectations and understanding into marriage with us. That's the challenge of marriage. Courtship should be the time, but most of the time that's where we're just having fun and we don't really get down serious with each other. When marriage comes, there has to be a lot of sitting up late at night and getting adjusted to each other. What's involved in the difficult task of creating a workable synthesis of the legacy of two childhood, different apart, which partners bring into marriage. You have two very different concepts of what it's like. Adaptability is the key concept to a happy marriage. Second is association. That is, we must be willing to spend time together. Boy, that's a problem that I admit I really have. My time is gone. And that's caused a problem with us at times. You're not there. According to the earliest creation narrative, the purpose of marriage is that of companionship. Because God said here in the Bible, it is not good for man to be alone. Thus He created one. Because companionship is the primary purpose of marriage, it naturally follows that one of the ways we can make our marriage what it ought to be is to spend more time together. With both parents working in most homes, and with children involved in numerous extracurricular activities, it is becoming more and more true that husbands and wives can live together all through the years, but they operate in different time zones or in different relationships, but they live in the same house. They raise a family together, and yet they really never have the time to be alone with each other so they can get to know each other. That's what marriage predicts. 3 is affirmation. Not only should we spend more time together, we should learn to use that time to affirm each other, to build each other up, to encourage each other. Now, granted, there are some things in our lives that make affirmation difficult. One wife whose husband had been sick was asked by a concerned friend, "Is your husband all right now?" Well, she replied, he's not all right, but he's back like he was before. The young groom said to his wife, honey, I hope you don't mind if I point out a few of your faults. Not at all, she responded. It was those faults that kept me from getting a better husband. You didn't get that, did you? That is so funny if you was listening to what I said. He was going to point out her faults, and he said, is it all right? She said, yeah. That's what kept me from getting a better husband, all my faults. Where are y'all? Oh, me. Do y'all not get that one? Martha tells me, don't ever try to tell a joke. Because I missed the punchline. I don't know what I missed from that. Anyway, happy homes then are those which husbands and wives learn to see the positive in each other and affirm that. Now you can sit around all night long. You can point out each other's faults and never reach a positive solution. But begin to point out the positive to each other. I read this statement. Listen to this. Now I want you to open up your mind and listen to it. Fault finding only, never a happy home made. You can point out each other's faults and do it all from now on. That's not going to help one bit. Because you hurt the person if you only can talk about the faults. Many marriage experts suggest making a list of the things that you appreciate in your mate. Look over that list each morning when you get up. Glance at it often during the day. Realize again the good, positive qualities of that person that you're married to. And then take the opportunity to share your mate with how you feel about the positive thing. Affirmation is another key to a happy marriage. Number 4 is allegiance. Happy marriages consist of husbands and wives who are committed to each other and who are loyal to each other. Herman and Gertrude, now y'all listen to this one. I hope you draw a few laughs. Herman and Gertrude had been married only a week when they moved into their new home. A home which Gertrude paid for with her money. As they walked into their home for the first time, she turned to him and said, Herman, if it were not for my money, we wouldn't be here. That afternoon, the furniture was brought in. Furniture which Gertrude paid for with her money. As the men put their furniture in place, she said to her husband, Herman, if it were not for my money, that furniture wouldn't be here. The next day they delivered a beautiful, big color television. A television that Gertrude paid for with her money. As the television was turned on, Gertrude said, Herman, if it were not for this money, this television wouldn't be here. Finally he said, Gertrude, I don't want to make you feel bad, but if it were not for your money, I wouldn't be here. All right, that is funny. That's so serious now, isn't it? Now, what does keep us together? It's not our money. You can have a lot of money and have a terrible marriage. Be unhappy. Look at Hollywood. Not our feelings. Feelings cannot carry you through those difficult times. Our common interests, nor the children, nor love, but it's commitment. That's the key. There are many articles that you can read about infidelity in marriage. Most analysts believe that infidelity has one reason, And that's a misunderstanding of what commitment means in marriage. There is in the commitment of marriage an exclusiveness that demands absolute allegiance on our part. One mate. When you get married, you have no right to give of yourself physically or emotionally to anybody else. But you have an obligation to give yourself physically and emotionally to each other. When the couple understands and accepts that absolute allegiance to each other, they're setting the foundation for a happy home. You can't be happy if the other one is being unfaithful to you, or you're being unfaithful to your mate. There's no happiness there. Number 5 is affection. Many couples, or happy couples, consist of husbands and wives who genuinely care for each other and who express their affection. This is one thing that I've had a tough time doing. I was not brought up to express my affection. And Martha was brought up in a home where they were very affectionate to each other. And she has had to help me through that big problem. It's hard for me to express how I feel. I wouldn't have made it without her having patience with me and telling me, you need to do this, Jane. Express that it fair. I talk to you, some of you men, you have a problem with it. You need to open yourself up. A lot of us are afraid to let people know inside. Tell your wife you love her. Tell your husband you love her. Tell your children. Affection. The 6th one is adoration. A home is not a home without it. Happy homes consist of husbands and wives who not only love each other, but they love the Lord. One pastor friend expressed it like this, and I want to just read what he said. Marriage can either be heaven on earth or hell on earth. It will be as much heaven as there is God in it, and as much hell as there is the devil in it. The devil's right in the middle of hurting all of our home. That's his job, to hurt you, make you unhappy. Your marriage, my marriage, can either be a little bit of heaven or a whole lot of hell. And it all depends on you. How much of hell is in your marriage, how much of heaven is in it. So there it is. Adaptability, association, affirmation, allegiance, affection, and adoration are the precious principles which we must rediscover in today's home. And when we have found them, we truly have something about which to rejoice. I came across this illustration years ago, and I've used it many times. And I want to use it again here today. A new pastor that had come to their city called on a certain cottage. When the husband came home from his work, the wife said, "The new pastor called on us today." "What did he say?" asked the man. "Oh, he asked us Christ lived here, and I didn't know what to say." The man's face flushed. "Why did you tell him that we were respectable people?" He said, "Well, I might have said that, only that isn't what he asked." "Then why didn't you tell him that we say our prayer? We read our Bible?" She said, he didn't ask me that." The man grew vexed. "Why didn't you say we're always in church? We're right there." "He didn't ask me that." He only asked me, does Christ live here? This man and woman pondered for many days what the grave pastor meant by his question. Little by little, their lives were changed. Little by little, they grew to expect Christ, not dead, but gloriously alive. In some way, they knew not how. Through great love and through a willingness to be surprised by the mystery of his radiance, they knew him. They knew Christ. He was in their marriage. And now if the pastor were to come back and ask the question, does Christ live here? They both, without hesitation, could readily say, yes, he does. The question comes to each one of us in our home. Does Christ live there in your home? Or does Satan get in there? I tell you, I want Christ in my heart, in our home. How about you? If you're not a Christian, you're making a big mistake keeping him out. Because that's how hell gets into your home. You're not a Christian. What kind of a Christian are you? By mouth only? By the way you live. That'll determine whether there's hell or heaven. And as I said at the beginning, this message was meant for James Young. But I hope that it's helped somebody else. Let's pray. God, I pray that you'd help me to be a better husband. Help me, oh God, to be able to go through these principles of a home that's happy. Help me to be a better maid to Martha, a better father to my children, a better grandfather, great-grandfather. Help me, oh God, to be a better person. I don't want Satan to have any part in my life, especially in my home. God, I pray for all the people who are listening to me today. They may not like it because I preached on this subject, but so be it. I just pray that all of us will say, I want Jesus in my heart and in my home. In his precious name. Amen. If you've never received Christ, better time. Walk down this aisle and say, preacher, I want Jesus in my life, in my home, in my heart. I don't want my home to go another day without Jesus Christ. Maybe you need to come and recommit your life to Jesus. Say, I haven't been a good disciple of Christ. And I want to commit my life fresh and anew to follow him. As God speaks to your heart, you do what God tells you to do.